Oh yes. Hey everyone, it's Garrison here and welcome back to the channel, and today I'll be sharing my thoughts in regards to Queendom Puzzle episode 2 this time around. Now, quick reminder that please take things with a grain of salt when it comes to Mnet edits and their episodes with evil editing or angel edits and spotlight of a moment type moments, because hey, sure, they may not be able to rig the votes electronically, but they sure can play their cards in a certain way, such as making unnecessary rivalry in this show that has happened in episode 1 and 2 with Rocket Punch and Cherry Bullet pretty much, and somehow Weekly and High Key, even though the rivalry is not present there. But I wanted to actually quote Sujin from Weekly, that I feel like her one full sentence here defines the up-down battle that had to be done by Mnet. She said, "Many people receive more downs than ups. I think the standard gets higher as we go." She was completely spot on the dot in terms of the up-down battle. Okay, after the several performances the contestants saw, their expectations shot up and they were more cautious per se in terms of how they voted, in terms of like upvoting, downvoting performances. And then obviously there were some contestants who were just completely competitive and just downvoted regardless in terms of the top performances that were shown in episode 2. Now, yet again, I feel like it was just foul for Mnet to show the votes. I guess it was fine at the end of the day because the contestants saw it as a room for improvement. I can't reiterate that enough, or sort of like a comeback moments, like, I know I'm better than this, I'm gonna show them what's up into the next battles and rounds. And I don't think I have much to say in terms of the follow-up and how everything broke down with Cherry Bullets, Jiwon and Bora selecting their teammates and dropping certain contestants to be in a separate team for Snap and Charismatic, because I felt like the choices had good reasoning and all, and I liked how Weekly sort of like stayed together in 2 separate teams, and then Rocket Punch stayed together, and then how everything played out, I felt like it made sense. It's just a matter of like seeing who won the battle. Was it the teams that like got dropped, you know, the contestants that got dropped, or, you know, the contestants that were picked up by Jiwon and Bora? But aside from that, I more so want to talk about the performances that happened in episode 2. So right away, we had Juri from Rocket Punch and her performance of Heartburn by Sunmi. Absolutely well considered in terms of the song choice, I've got to say. I liked the twist of the intro in Japanese, and I loved hearing her deep voice and vocal color throughout that song, as fellow Ketchies may know. Unfortunately, Juri doesn't get that much lines in Rocket Punch's music, so hearing her perform alone in this level of like competition was very like eye-opening, you know, I've got to say. And she showcased stable vocals, her facial expressions were on point, and I felt like she should have gotten at least double-digit upvotes, as she got 7 upvotes and 20 downvotes, mind you. Now, moving on to the next performance, of course, they followed up with Yunhee from Rocket Punch, our lovely leader. And she surprised me, not gonna lie, by choosing Dum Dum by Somi, right? Unexpected song choice, but I love how Tak from New Type, who also did the arrangement for Soohyun's performance, did a cool EDM arrangement of Dum Dum here. Love the twist in the outfit change, of course, going from pink to black, and it really goes to show you her duality throughout that performance with that outfit change, twist, and all. Showcased professionalism as well, despite her shoe strap issue coming off at the start of the performance. And of course, she should have gotten a positive ratio in upvotes. If anything, you know, pretty much all of Rocket Punch members who were on this show, crimes were committed. I just want to say that pretty much. Now, moving on to the rest of the weekly members, we have Soeun and then Soojin. So for Soeun, of course, she came through with 28 Reasons by Seulgi. Many of us expected it due to her outfit and styling and all, and it makes sense. Very fitting song choice. Weekly has covered a lot of Red Velvet songs in the past before, and I just don't understand why, though, her performance was cut short in the full episode. I'm not talking about the unedited version of her performance of 28 Reasons, but we're talking about the full episode. In fact, Soeun and Soojin's performances, I felt like, were cut briefly short due to the editing and all. And it goes to show you, thanks to one of my fellow subscribers pointing this out in my initial episode review of Queendom Puzzle, the first episode, episode 1, sorry, where they were talking about how the performances were botched, and it's pretty unfair for Mnet to heavily edit one performance and like barely edit certain performances, which occurred in Soeun's performance and Soojin's performance, I've got to say. But yeah, Soojin was completely right about expectations changing, and the judgment levels were going high there after the initial performances. Now we move on to Soojin, right, from Weekly, and her performance of Flower by Jisoo. Now I gotta say, the refreshing tango twist in the intro was amazing, got me drawn into the performance right away. I think her expressions were amazing, yet her elegant presence was there most importantly, so she did justice to Jisoo's song. Truly sensed her own charms throughout the performance, I've got to say, for fellow dailies who are familiar of Soojin. And regardless if you're not familiar with her or not, I'm pretty sure you guys were surprised by her performance. No mistakes were made, and she definitely deserved a positive ratio in upvotes. See this reoccurring positive ratio and upvotes and stuff that I'm talking about. Now we move on to, of course, the next performances here that had more so lower or higher downvotes, I should say. And we have Soyeon from Triple S, right? And she performed Cherry Talk, right? Makes sense. After hearing her story and getting to know her a bit more for this battle, I liked hearing her willingness to improve and, most importantly, her positivity. Although I liked pretty much solely her cuteness being shown in her performance of Cherry Talk, I can understand the producers' like reason why of like choosing her in the first place to be on the show, solely for like growth opportunity for us to follow. So I feel like she can grow on this show for sure, without a doubt, with the fellow contestants. Speaking of another contestants that I can like really feel that they will grow a lot on the show is Miru, right? And she came through with Shine Bright. 5 upvotes, 22 downvotes. After seeing her performance though, I gotta say, and hearing her story, I feel like I'm a brand new fan of her. Who's here with me, right? I felt like her presence alone without backup dancers was very daring, yet she pretty much filled the stage pretty well. I can foresee her definitely improving on the show and crafting like more so of her skill set throughout the show, because as I said in the past before, completely different industries, coming from a completely different industry into the K-pop scene and all. And I loved how, most importantly, she was thoughtful in terms of her upvotes for other performances and all. Now we move on to more so of the rappers, right? We got Yuki from Purple Kiss. For those who are familiar of Who Cares, her debut trailer song, right? I love how she's throwing it back with her debut trailer song, but also taking it a Queen's, quote unquote, Queen's prelude twist to it. 13 upvotes, 14 downvotes, pretty good. The dance break was fun to watch, I've got to say, and that cool integration with the hats and the light work going on with the backup dancers was really dope, and I felt like she utilized the stage completely, you know, although there was like the mistake of forgetting lyrics and just the last minute change of the lyrics and just that twist to it. I feel like she's gonna show a lot more. It's just only a matter of like hoping she receives more screen time. I think that's one of the contestants that deserves more screen time, so hopefully that changes in episode 2. Now moving on to Sanga of Lightsum, right? She came through with fellow label-made songs Black Dress by CLC and Tomboy. Now, considering, apparently from what I read and what Sanga said on Bubble, that she was only given 3 days to prepare. So yeah, considering that Cube only gave her 3 days to prepare for her performance, and she had some nerves coming into this, or nerves that were being shown during the performance, I still think she chose the right songs for her performance and had a solid performance. You know, it wasn't like far and beyond, but it was a solid performance. I know there's much more to her beyond this battle round, of course, and I feel like she can just showcase even more in the next battles, as long as her nerves goes away and she becomes more confident in her performances. And I think that will change as she'll be within certain teams with other contestants. Of course, Mnet follows it up with Ian, right? She came through with her own song, Cherry Coke, right? Recent release, 19 upvotes, 8 downvotes. I felt like the intro with Helicopter was iconic and complete fire, with the epic drums and the cool snare drums in the work, and it really goes to show us her stage presence is on another level solely alone. I'm glad that she did take a daring rock approach to Cherry Coke, since, not gonna lie, I personally don't like Cherry Coke that much due to the hooks in the song, but her charms were most definitely completely shown everyone. Now we get into, of course, Haein from Laboom, right? The other contestant aside from Chaeyeon, who left the show, of course, with due good reasons, assumingly, and she came through with the resurgence of a song, Fresh Adventure, that I absolutely love still to this day, and a gem of a song, Between Us, coming through with 5 upvotes and 22 downvotes, unfortunately, okay? Can't emphasize that enough. Love the song choices. I felt like the performance was cut short, another performance that was cut short, but most definitely felt like the ending was too abrupt with Between Us. Like, I would have loved more vocal moments beyond that dance break for Between Us during her performance and all. But either way, Haein's better than the show, and I hope that she finds more success beyond this show, of course. Now we're moving on to Ellie of Wiki Mickey. Yet again, another contestant I feel like deserves more screen time, and another contestant that I'm about to talk after Ellie is Jordyn. But Ellie of Wiki Mickey coming through with a gem of a song that is such an unconventional song choice, which is Sonata of Temptation, originally by Ivy, coming through with 4 upvotes and 23 downvotes, okay? Other than forgetting some of the lyrics due to nerves building up, her execution was fully there in my humblest opinion. You cannot change my mind, everyone, and I'm pretty sure many of y'all can agree to this in terms of her execution. Such a powerful performance, and the vocals were so smooth throughout the performance. So I'm glad she's on the show in the first place, not just for Wikimickey, but for herself to be recognized more. So really hope we get more screen time for Ellie, and I feel like I'm gonna be a bit frustrated if we don't, you know, get more screen time from her on this show. Moving on to Jordyn of Cherry Bullet. She actually came through with Chungha's iconic song, Bicycle. 4 upvotes, 23 downvotes. Right away into the performance, unfortunately, I felt like the performance was off due to her nerves building up, seeing how her fellow members did, Bora and Jiwon did earlier on, and having her to actually wait so long for her to perform later on into the show and all. And I want to make this clear, everyone, that everyone on this show is talented. I don't think any of us has the right to say that they're not talented, and it's just not right for people to negatively judge Jordyn or any other contestant solely based on this first battle round, I've got to say. So I really hope to see more from Jordyn. I know she's better than this, and yeah, hopefully she gets more screen time as well. Now we move on to Jui and her performance of Sunmi's 24 Hours. 6 upvotes, 21 downvotes. Such a bold choice in terms of song. I've got to say I like the bold choice, but I felt like it wasn't necessarily the perfect song choice in my humblest opinion. I felt like we gotta give her credit though for preparing all by herself, right, as she's independent now, and just honestly another contestant where I felt like she is better beyond this one performance. So hopefully that changes as the episodes go by in this show, of course. Now we move on to more so of the final performances in this up-down battle, okay? We have EXO of High Key and her performance of their iconic song, Rose Blossom, and Tomboy. 23 upvotes, 4 downvotes. I felt like she could have even gotten more upvotes than downvotes, but that's completely fine. Like I said, I felt like this up-down battle doesn't matter as much as the next battles that are gonna happen, of course. But before the show, not gonna lie, I kept my eyes on Huiso ever since she joined High Key. She completely slayed this performance and nailed it with the song choice of Tomboy. Confidence, charms, skill set, and powerful vocal ability, matter of fact, were clearly shown. Goes to show us though that she is meant to be a performer by capturing our attentions, and both vocals and dance as well, right? Very captivating performance as a whole for this battle round. And last but not least, which I thought she was gonna perform right away in this episode due to the preview in episode 1 at the end of episode 1, is Kay and her performance of Destiny. Honestly, Destiny, the recognition for Destiny should have been there in the first place a long time ago for Lovelyz, but such an immaculate song choice, and I was all for the details in the performance with the backup dancers, styling. Of course, she took the musical approach. We know how she's good at taking the musical approach, as she's done musicals in the past before. And I also liked the playful moments, such as the trap percussion breakdown that occurred quite early in the performance, if I recall correctly. So personally, I wouldn't fault her for coming through with more vocal moments near the end that she was faulted for, and I'm not worried with the results, as I know she will climb back up to that tier 1 later on. So yeah, obviously I didn't like the 9 downvotes, but she's gonna climb up there for sure, without a doubt, knowing what she's capable of, and definitely being the few, I would say, individuals on the show that have like top-notch, you know, vocal work, both Bora and of course Hey. And I think Quiso is gonna show even more and climb up there, I've got to say. So I think my number 1 performance still, all in all, still has to be Cherry Bullet's Bora. It still goes in the same way, but Quiso shot up there with the likes of Uju Sonya's Yeram. I think Yunhee is just right up there with Suyun and all. Ian is up there with, I would say, G1 from Cherry Bullet. And as I said at the start of this video, I don't have much to say in terms of dropping certain members for the upcoming teams that we're gonna see how it played out and all, right, because they aired those performances ahead of time. We know what happened in terms of like how the chemistry went on like performance, the final edits and performance of all 4 teams. Of course, it's just a matter of knowing who won, which teams won, like maybe assumingly the teams like performances that got aired initially won, but then again, maybe that's not the case. It's just more so the teams that, you know, were naturally selected, or not naturally selected, I should say, Bora and G1 formed to go first, then the other teams to go afterwards and all. So it's going to be really interesting how that plays out. But I feel like what I'm most looking forward to is, of course, the different performances we're going to see from all of the contestants in their respective teams. And I saw that one preview of Weekly's Jihan performing Nude by Idol, of course. So lots to more so enjoy in the next episode and future episodes, I've got to say. I'm sure those full performances won't be as botched and really not doing justice in terms of edits like episode 1 and 2 here with the up-down battle and also definitely looking forward to the next episode. If any of y'all are interested in full episode reactions though, as I've said in the past before, feel free to check out the Patreon, where I have Queendom Puzzle episode reactions exclusively on there, the full 2 hours unedited, as well as exclusive content on there and variety, early reactions, first listens and such. But take care as always. Please let me know your thoughts in regards to episode 2 of Queendom Puzzle in the comment section down below. Did you feel the same way in regards to the unnecessary rivalry that's being put upon Rocket Punch and Cherry Bullet? Did you feel about the same way in terms of Rocket Punch being downvoted too much? Although I'm really glad to see the Rocket Punch members being shown at the end of episode 2, being like, we got dropped, we're gonna show that the drop team is gonna come through and win regardless. I think Suyun said that or something like that on the lines of that. Did you feel the same way in regards of, like, you know, how much footage is being shown in terms of these certain contestants and all? But anyways, I think we can all agree that Mnet is SnakeNet at the end of the day, and be sure to remind your fellow friends and watchers of Queendom Puzzle that you got to take things with a grain of salt and more so look forward to positive moments, interactions, friendships, crazy collaborations, and stages that are gonna guaranteed to be on this show and all. So I'm gonna be rooting for my certain favorites. I haven't like really nailed it down because, as some may know, I am a multi-stan of all these groups. I just felt like episode 1 and 2 was really hard to watch with the botched editing and likes of unedited moments for weekly. Of course, I felt like So and Sujin didn't even get any edits. They were cut short, matter of fact, in terms of their performances. But take care as always. This has been Garrison, and peace.